All right, we are live. Lovely. So good. Let's give people time to pop on. And I am so happy you are here with me, Arati Lane. And
Hello, it's good to see you.
good to see you. I love it. In our own homes, doing our workshop, learning about Reiki and expressing what it means to us, you know,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. So yeah, while we just get settled, hopefully we'll have some people are coming in our group. I'm gonna look, see what's up, give people time to show up. This will be on a replay too. So if you don't have time to be here with us for the whole session, you can watch the replay.
Very good.
Yeah, let's see if I am.
And then we can also send it out to people.
Yep. And I can download the recording and put it on YouTube too. Good.
Yes. So I want to just say something about this auspiciousness of the day. So in Vedic astrology, the wheel of yoga, we're also supposed to study astrology, and we study the Vedic astrology is a very auspicious day today. So it's, the sun and the moon are exalted and in line with Venus. So it's all these benefic planets, not so the good guys, they're really supporting. So very good day for new intentions, or doesn't have to be a new intention. It has to just be aligned with your intention, who you really are, who you really see yourself being. And I think that goes with the time we're in as well. So I think this is such a good thing to do this, because I'm passionate about teaching about energy and about healing.
Yeah, excellent. Oh my gosh, that's great. I'm so glad that we're
Auspicious day. Yes, it's April 26th today, all day. So it's auspicious, like from morning to night.
All right.
So do something auspicious. Plant a seed.
All right. So we were going to ask ourselves, what does Reiki mean to each of us? And we both have personal relationships with Reiki energy, and I will defer to Arati just to give us a little description, like what is the meaning of Reiki, and then it will come back to me and I'll share my personal story about it. So
okay, so Reiki, I was initiated into the art of Reiki only about maybe a year and a half ago. Formally, I was in one of those Reiki 1 and 2 courses over a retreat in Lake Arrowhead with a master Reiki teacher, and so I learned something which I already knew. So that's what I want to share. It's that, we're tapping into something we already knew it's there, and it just got a name to it and got more of a frame for it. So, and then it is much easier for me to offer it also, because it has a format. So I really liked that it suddenly I could apply it with a format, but it really was something I've already received growing up, from my mom. She has no idea. She never heard of the word Reiki, but she would put her hands on when I fell. I'm a mom, so I was very, very fond of, the hands-on, when you fall. I do that when I hurt. It's the first thing. It's like, rubbing. I teach Ayurveda, and I always tell people, oh, put some oil or just self-massage. So I think it's very powerful, and it's something I believe we have underlying inside of us. It's an availability. It's just like, the yogis here and the yoginis, that kundalini energy, which is coiled up at the base of the spine, and you can be having an intention to get aware of it and then raise that energy, or not, but it still sits there, right? So we can access that. So this is what Reiki is, and we give a format so we can basically go get the snake.
right.
And it's the, getting the light, basically. It's healing light.
Yes.
Really.
Yes. Wonderful. And I actually have a long history with Reiki because when I first started teaching at a studio in La Jolla, 8 Elements West, in 1997, I got Reiki level 1 through the club that I was working at. Gloria invited me into the Reiki session, and I learned it way back when. And so at that time, I was going through an incredible transition in my life. So it was perfect timing because the self-care that I got through streaming, and it comes through the top of the head, this pure stream of Reiki healing, and then out through your hands. And it was powerful because the teacher actually said, "Oh my gosh, you have this strong hand." And at that time, I had injured my wrist and had major surgery on my right arm. But you will find that you'll have a dominant hand. And so the hand that was injured tends to be, tends to be stronger. Who knows? Just because of all the repairs that had and all the attention that with the amount of healing that goes on when you injure yourself. So this hand ends up being the strong hand. So there's always that amazing intuitive hits that you get. And then when you start practicing, your fingers start tingling and you don't have to do anything. It just, you could be thinking, this was one of the neat quotes that the teacher gave me, that you could be thinking about your laundry with your hands on the person and it would still stream in. There's no effort, there's no action. Your stream of energy, Reiki, is just there. So that's the beautiful thing. No effort, comes through you, just the intention to open up the session and close the session with your healing. Isn't that's neat? And then at that time, I used constantly every night to help me sleep and to calm my stress and my anxiety. Being a single mom with 2 young children, it was pretty wild. So I have a great relationship with Reiki healing. Yeah.
So you use it on your children, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yes, I still have a 9-year-old. You know, I have 2 adult children, and then Jaden. Yeah, so we use it a lot. We use that, and then also a whole nother workshop, the tapping technique too. I love that. Yeah,
I like that too.
Yeah,
I also there is no end really on whom we use it. And it's also possible to practice on animals, on your pet. You know, I use it on actually I have a, I don't own it, but it's a horse I ride, and he has a shoulder injury. He loves Reiki. He knows what it is. Because he's when you stroke him or when you clean them with a brush and you go over that shoulder a bit too harsh, he's like, he wants to kind of nip a little bit. And then when you do the Reiki, and he's just like, he relaxes so much. When a horse relaxes, kind of funny. Their face goes slack, and their head kind of drops a little. So it's so instantly. It's so like, because he cannot, an animal will not give us the feedback or like, oh, I feel really much better. I felt the energy, and humans will say something, and I find that really it's so obvious. Yeah. And I'm sorry, you see my arm in my finger here. My screen wants to darken up. I at this point don't know what to do. So don't worry.
I think it's fine. It's not affecting the our end. It's not affecting. All right. Yeah, so it's fine. All right. So any other definitions of Reiki and what it means for us before I move on to the specific hand placements and the energy centers? That will be the next portion. I have actually something I wanted to bring up. Okay. I also it can be used. I brought up humans and animals, and it can be used for preparing food. You can put Reiki energy in the food you cook, and you can do distance Reiki, which I think is so far out.
And I only experienced it because I had a client who loved the Reiki for herself and for her, severely disabled daughter. And she, the daughter also really enjoyed it, absorbed it really well. They moved to Arizona. So they're pretty far away. And she requested distance Reiki healing. And I'm like, okay. And she reported that it was really important. And she got me a couple of paid gigs for someone who had a surgery. And, so I could be at that very time distance away, so that I really want to bring that in, how it's just very powerful. And then at this point, we all know how important it is to do some earth healing. So we can definitely do the Reiki on Mother Earth herself.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's so important. Yeah, distance Reiki is very powerful. I've experienced it personally myself through a teacher, and just the intention and the symbols, using some of those symbols that I will have us draw and explore a little bit, are powerful focusing mechanisms to activate the energy. I do use those symbols sometimes at night over my my house and over my the people that are in the house. The visual focus of the spiral over them. I just feel it's so powerful. Yeah, and using those images in asana practice too, in a yoga practice, really powerful, and initiating hands with those symbols. Anyhow, yes, really cool.
Wow.
All about focus. All right, so should we move on to just a little bit of the, the banner at the top of our event has these statements, and we wanted to really acknowledge them. So RT has that. In fact, this is the diploma, right? The Reiki certification.
No, it's not the diploma. I got it along with my diploma, and it's like something I hung up because it's a nice little artwork, and it says the principles. So basically, if you want to, right here, you sit here and you're curious, you want to learn, but when you want to practice, you need to stick to these principles, and they are: just for today, do not worry. Just for today, do not anger. Honor your parents, teachers, and elders. Earn your living honestly. Show gratitude to every living thing. I think this is good. That's why I framed it and hung it up. So I'm like, ooh.
That's great.
Especially just for today, I do not worry. Just for today, do not anger. Honor your parents, teachers, and elders. Earn your living honestly. Show gratitude to every little thing.
Yes. Excellent. Good. That's such a nice segue on to sharing my screen, because I do want to share a melding of philosophies here. I am in a human design. Whoops. Yes, there we go. Good. I'm going to move that down. So these are all, I wonder if I can move this. Let's see. I'm going to put that up so everybody can see the comments. I'm wondering how I get the comments off. Anyhow, maybe I'll scroll that. So we'll start at the top of the head. So this represents our chakra system. So human design melds so beautifully with our Eastern philosophy of chakras. So I am very well versed in the human design modern way of looking at our energy centers, that it will apply. It does apply. So our hand placements based on our chakras. So the self-care that we use would be first initiated maybe with a symbol, and those will come next, or with the initiating of heat in the palms. fact, this might be a really good exercise just to find that sweet spot in your hands, where you're feeling that heat as you move close, and then it gets cool, and then that heat, the ball of energy, this is that Reiki that will start really heating up. There's two concepts. Whatever the client or you need, it can be a hot frequency, or it can even be a cooling frequency. It just depends on what your physical body needs, and your hands and the source energy will know exactly, because you don't have to do anything. Remember, you could be thinking about laundry, you could be thinking about whatever, but what Reiki will do for you is it will start that receptivity where your thoughts will be of higher order, of frequency heightening. So you don't have to do anything. It will either go hot or cool. And so let's start at the top of the head, the head center. So this is where there is pressure, a lot of pressure to think, to do, to have all of these ideas and energies going in. And what do you think about just like capping that and soothing that? So this is the first spot. Your inspiration, this is where anxiety can get out of control. You have mental pressure that is just huge. So immediately your Reiki energy is going to soothe that. That's the first. And then there's actually no particular order except moving downward from the top of the head. And coming to the back of the skull, you have this spot right here. Again, we're still working head, and soothing those rapid thoughts. And then that third, front of the face. And if you were to put these on your child, you would want to hold it just a little bit away, because nobody wants to feel that too tight. So you're finding that space away from your face. But for you, self-care, we're focusing on self-care right on the face. Good. And so this is conceptualized. These are the ideas. How am I moving all of those pressure concepts and ideas and getting clarity through this? Then that fourth one. So let's review. Top, back, front. That's all head, covering all the bases. Then we're moving into the throat. And I like just putting my elbows together. Looks like we froze, huh? There we go, good. Elbows together, kind of wrapping around. Again, if you were to do this on somebody, because I know some of you may want to just like carry this forward, you want a little bit of away from the neck, because it's too suffocating. If you're soothing somebody else with Reiki, off of the neck. But for yourself, it's okay. It just feels fine just to cover that throat. Good. And throat is, of course, this is the area of communication, creativity. How am I going to express myself? Getting all of those concepts out into the world. Where is my voice? How many voices do I have? What voice am I going to speak in? Again, more clarity around here. And then the heart. Yep. Finding your heart. This is where you are finding your love and your direction, and you're filling yourself up. The colors, I'm not talking about colors, but I love talking about this green color. Heart is green, and our world is green. Right now, all I'm looking outside, all I see is green because of plants. So this represents everything. It's a center, also the center of all of our energy wheels. So it's the melding. This is very, very significant. Your direction, your love, how you're, loving yourself, how you're loving others. Powerful place. Okay. If anything, you could just, heart to heart hug, heart to heart hugs. Powerful. Good. And then the coming down right where the ribs meet, right in that power center. And this is where it shifts a little bit, because in human design, this correlates to willpower and the ability to have your worth, your self-worth, your power. So that's what this is, your power center. Am I able to move forward in life and manifest? That's what this is. And then I'm finding that this is a really neat way of exploring different sides of the body. So I'm moving my hands. So splenic center in human design is all about the body. So you could put your hand on your left side on your spleen and start connecting to this logical circuitry of body. This is more body awareness. So I've found myself coming over to this side and soothing the nervous system and the body. And then the other side in human design is right where the liver is. Get this. This is emotions. This is all about your connection to that emotional wave. So that's what that means in human design. And, we have so many spiraling wheels all throughout the body, and wherever you put your hand is where that source energy is going to go. So I'm incorporating those two sides of the body, very abstract emotional side and very logical body awareness instinctual side. All right, back to a more traditional Eastern chakra system. We have this diamond, or this sacral center, which is the juice. It's the fertility. It's what we have for creating life on the planet. And Kundalini or Shakti force is what's right at the middle. And so I tend to like to cover here. Let me come up a little bit. I like to cover the whole belly for my fertile Shakti force. Good. And let me go over the other side. So bringing your hands to the right, that's the emotions. Bringing your hand to the left, that's more that logical splenic side. And then that power center was right there. And then that sacral juicy energy here. And then the root, I tend to do a couple things. So you're just hip flexors, I like that. Root pressure, and you can also come all the way under. These are all where you're going to put your hands for healing. And then the low back. And then the upper back. When you are laying down for self Reiki, those underneath you are somewhat difficult. They they hurt my wrists, so I tend to skip those. So you may skip those or not. Let me scroll a little bit for this image. See if I could. Here we go. Oh, it won't scroll. Sorry. So the root centers, that life fuel, that pressure, that's any sort of adrenal stress or depression or pressure to get things done. You're starting to calm yourself down with that support and nurturing from the root up. Didn't mention that. And then the sacral center is the sexuality. It represents the life and the life force that we have streaming up through that central column. All right, so let's see. Good. Wonder if there's any questions on that. Arti, do you have any input? Maybe I think we had talked about naming them in Sanskrit. Might be a neat thing.
Well, the chakras.
If you want, yep.
Yeah, so that which is interesting is that, you know, when I think of the chakra system, we always start with the root. And interesting enough, we are starting like opposite. You know, we're having the light come in here and then going down into the earth. And if we think of asana or, you know, meditation, we start from the root and then go up, right? You know, I see all these little chakra charts also. You know, they're from the bottom up. So we have the root chakra as Muladhara chakra, and it's associated with the earth and red, and that's where we are divinely grounded. And then, yeah, you called it the fertile center. It's like the Shakti herself, the goddess herself resides there. It's like associated with water, and the flow of all everything is Swadhisthara chakra. And then we have the Manipura, like the willpower, you called it, and it's also called like the city of gems, where we are. Oops.
Nope, you're good.
Yeah, Oh, can you see me?
Yep, you accidentally turned yourself. There you go. One more time. There you are.
You know what? Okay, sorry.
You're good. You're
That's
good.
so funny. Yeah, it's like I forget to do this, then my phone turns itself dark. So when we are thinking of the second chakra, it's like we can think of I flow with divine grace in my life. And the third, the solar plexus chakra, is yellow, and it's like I'm standing in my divine willpower. So I'm standing in it because I think we have a society of lack of, like, oh, I need more will. I need to have more, you know, yoga going here. We have these ideas of, oh, I have too much willpower and I have to do less. But then in the texts or in the Vedic text, it is I stand in my divine willpower. So it's like karma. It's not too much or not enough. Like karma, it's not bad or good. It's just that. So I think I wanted to say that. And then we have the I am divine love, the anahata, or the, you know, it's translated into unstruck. It cannot be touched. So when we talk about broken heart, it can't break. It's unstruck. It cannot. And I think that's really powerful. And it's either pink or green, so both colors. They work. For me, it's kind of funny because I grew up not liking pink, but when I started to really work with my heart, I started to be attracted to it. And green is always a favorite, of course. So, yeah. And the fifth, the throat, is Vishuddha or the it's the truth. So I speak my truth, I create my truth, my authority is my authority, like the way I have authority. And also you explained all that before, but what this is also about, and it's aquamarine blue color, is also listening. Because you see how the ears, the canals, they go actually right in here. So that's linked. So what comes out, you know, it's like listening and speaking.
Yes. Excellent.
And so I know. So it's so much.
Yes.
It's interrelated.
The third eye.
And then we have the third eye, Ajna Chakra or Agnya Chakra. It's also it's to command, really. Like to command is I'm tuned into my divine inner wisdom. And when you look at Hindu art, and deities, you know, they have the big third eye, and it looks like there's a big pupil looking out. But what it really is, and I think that's also important, is that this eye opens inward, and we are looking with an open eye inside. So it doesn't mean like I see my brain. You all know that. It's like I'm becoming aware. Like how do I pick how, you know? And I think that's just so it's turned inwards. The third eye, which is my inner divine wisdom. And then the violet, or oftentimes like 1,000 petal lotus, is the I am a divine being. There's a Swadhisthara. It's
Right.
like a 1,000-petal lotus, and it can be iridescent white or also purple.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wonderful.
white, like light.
Yeah.
So that's
Thank
where the
you.
light goes in.
Thank you so much for contributing that. It really puts more depth to the human design centers also, and how the spiritual aspects. So what I find is that the human design is very concrete and very real. It's like in this body. And then when we pull in the Eastern philosophy into those energy centers, it gets more lofty and really touches more into the spiritual realm, which is what I love, because that's what we are. We are a physical body, but we are more non-physical than physical. So keeping all of that in mind, when we touch those spots, that's the frequencies that we are awakening or enlivening with source energy through our hands. And so it was really, it is important to understand the different areas of the body and how they relate to our physical, realm and spiritual realms. That's really good. All right, so let's play a little bit. This might be fun if you give you a moment. We have 3 of you here live, and those who are watching the replay, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We're going to play with drawing some of these symbols. And Savannah, thank you so much for finding some of the images that I'm using right now. I appreciate that. So let's go to find that one. I kind of want to do one at a time, so I'm going to go back and forth. This is the one we are going to practice drawing. Share. Okay. You see that? It's the Shokure, and that's the one that Arati loves using. So she uses this one. So this is the placing of all the power of the universe is right here. Isn't that cool? So it's like an opening. Yeah, go ahead and share what you were going to share.
Oh, I fell in love with that right away. If it was like something I've always done, even though I didn't always do it, very natural. And it's like I do it actually. I do self Reiki for like a year and a half, pretty much every day in the morning before I get up, or if I go pee and then go back and lie down for a moment, and then I do what you showed us already. The bringing the heat in.
Yep.
And the awareness and kind of getting ready to receive. And then I draw it in my hand. So I'm going like this, and like this. And it just, first it was like a ritual, like something I had to do in order to. And now it's like I really start to feel that it unlocks the energies in the hands.
Wow. Yeah. Really cool.
It's like, it's like unlocking it.
So it's like amazing. A little key. It's a key. All right.
Yeah, it's a key. You get in there.
Good. So I just want to keep it quick. So this is enough information. It's a key, placing all the powers of the universe here. And then now let's draw it a couple times. Let me show you the little sequence on how to draw that. It's a different, just learning my tools here. Good. All right. You see that there is the Shokure right here. Let me scroll it up a little bit there. That's helpful. So that's that. So that top line is the first, and we could do it a couple times. Top line, 1 across. Second line is down. And then that third line almost to the top just spirals around. And feel the intention of that and watch where your pencil is flowing, and then it ends. And of course, I did many spirals. I did more than that. So let's see. Can you see? Look, there's mine. Oh, felt so good. So I'm going to do it one more time. So maybe it'll give you some moment just to focus and being mindful, just mindful of putting the pencil down and then pulling it across, stopping. That's line 1, going straight down. How big do you want it? How long do you want it? Stopping at the bottom and then noticing, moving to the right, all the way up and around. And my body seems to want to move when I draw. And even when I'm doing it in the air or in my mind, my whole head sort of spins. I don't know if I'm the only one who does that, but it's just like this movement to the right, to the right, to the right. Powerful. Cool. All right. So let's just play with 1 or 2 more. So let's go back to that other one that describes, okay, which is this one, share screen. See if I can find that. I have to scroll. It would be nice if I had 2 different screens, but I don't. See if I can find it. Where are you?
It looks really great.
Does this kind of thing? All right.
It's really easy to see. Yeah.
Okay, great.
You're doing a great job.
Here's the next one. So Seihiki, Reiki, emotional and mental healing symbol. Okay, so know that I am studying. This is like a study group because these techniques are wonderful and I remember doing them 20 years ago. So I'm studying with you right now. The earth and sky meet, or God and man become one. So we use these symbols in different ways. You can draw, practitioners draw the Shokugure, the power symbol, which we just did, to create connection with the Reiki energy source. And then this next one is drawn over the troubled areas where there's more Reiki energies are required. The energies are sealed by drawing the power symbol again. This sustains the effect of so we're using them together. So you're opening, like Arti had described, you're opening the energy and then you're closing the energy. And then this symbol that we're about to practice is to boost up the energy. So that's powerful. So let's draw that together. I'm gonna get the little description on how to draw it again. Moving that. If you guys could see me, I'm just like moving. My little mouse is moving everything, all my little open screens around. Okay, let's see. Good. Next. There we go. Share. All right. So move that. Good. And all right. So this is that second one. Let me see if I need to do anything else. Good, moving down. There's the names. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so number 1 line, you see that? Number 1 is this like lightning bolt. Down that little, and it doesn't have to be precise, you guys. It's just this like lightning bolt. You see that? One little down. And then the second one starts at the top, curves all the way down. And then you have those kind of like woman's bosoms. How cool is that?
So you would use the hand in the air above the person you're giving this very symbol. You're not drawing it on them.
Right. Or even in your mind, don't you think, Arti? Just in your mind also? These kind of like, I mean, I have a very powerful way to focus.
Yeah, I don't think I would do that with my mind. I would do that with my hands.
Your hands, okay.
I think I'm just kind of working on doing, whenever I am doing this, try to put my mind to the side. So I'm not having that in my mind, really.
Ah, I see. I tend to.
So I was just thinking that you don't draw it like the person feels the finger,
Right.
let's
Just
there's
like,
a trouble spot. It's like you kind of just, and
right.
then it directs the Reiki. So whatever the divine energy or the healing lights, it's kind of, it's direct. You're allowing the flow to come through, and then you're asking for more specific.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
I said, I only use that one. So I'm, and then I sometimes feel my hands being moved to different places.
wow. Cool. All right. Let's do this. Should we just go through this last one and then that will be enough because time just goes so fast, I tell you. Just for fun, these little sketchy, this is the one I actually memorized and I use the third one, quite a bit. So I really am curious now, what the name of that one is again. So let's go to that third powerful symbol and it's on this one, share. Good. All right, so let me scroll a little bit again. Bear with me, gotta find it on my screen. Where is it? Somewhere hidden. This must be it. Yeah, I found it. Okay, so we're scrolling. Yeah, this is the one I actually loved. The Honsha Zen Sho Ne. Having no present, past, or future. Okay, let's scroll over. There are many ways to send Reiki. A lot of practitioners learn one technique, which they then tweak and personalize it to suit their style. The step below describes one such technique. Activate the power symbol, write the name of the recipient or the situation you are sending energy to on a piece of paper and hold the paper in between your hands. Draw Hosha Zen So No in the air above the paper and repeat its name. Repeat the name. Finish the Reiki session by either clapping. Huh, interesting. Yeah, that's a different one. Okay, so Ho Shas Zen Sho, having no present, past, or future. This is all that is in the now moment, I would assume. Okay, last one. If you're still with me, I'm impressed. Let's get the directions. And application window. Whoops, wrong one. This one. Share. Good. All right. Good. So it's a little smaller, but can you guys see those numbers? I hope so. All right, so just for fun, follow along, and we're just going to stay in a mindful place. Quiet. I'm going to be quiet, and hopefully you can
You can
see
also take
those.
a screenshot. I'm just thinking if I would like to, I could make a screenshot and then look at it bigger. And
That's a good idea. Let me try. Actually, I think I can make it bigger. Let's see. Yep, I can make it bigger.
because that one is way more complex than the other ones.
Oh, absolutely. Is that better?
Yes.
A little bigger? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right. Yeah, because I'm looking at this other screen. Let me see if I can see it now.
Just
Good.
Facebook bar is kind of blocking it a little.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how to get those off. I'll have to ask in the group. Here, let's go up a little bit. All right, there we go.
That's good.
That's good. Okay, and I'll scroll
Yeah.
it. I'll scroll it a little bit. All right, so the first one is right across and then straight down. Good. Wow, I can't believe I did these 20 years ago and I memorized it. That's pretty wild. And then 3. Oh, yes, I remember now. 3 is at that. See where the cross is? The 1, 2. So you have 1 across. Here, let's see. 1 across, 2 goes down, and then that third is right here, right at that little point, and it's a little V off to the side. And then it's matching side, that's number 4. You go to number 4 and you go down. Okay.
Looks like a little person. Looks like a human design person.
And then the 5 is across. So you go in between that little triangle. 5 goes across. 6 goes right at the base of that number 2 line. You see that? Moving up, I'm moving up. So 2, this was 2, and then 6 across. You see that? Number 7 goes in a diagonal line. It matches, if you notice, it matches this diagonal line of that little leg of the person. So that's number 7. So draw number 7, crosses over. 8, this is fascinating, you guys. 8 right in the middle of that 7. Draw the line down. 9 crosses over right here, and then 10 down. 9 and 10. What is it in the middle? Is that a number?
And it doesn't look like
11.
it.
That must be 11, because then you have 12. You see that? And then 13. So that must be 11 in the center box, 12 across, 13 down. See that? I'm on 13. 13, 14 here. No wonder why Archie's like, no wonder why I'm not going to do these. Yeah. And then 13. This must have been 13. 13, 14. All right, so now we have that funny little thing, and now there's a V. That V right underneath all of that. 18, 19, 19, 20. Oh my gosh, I'm actually feeling something, you guys. Whew. I am feeling this. For some reason, this is a sacred symbol, and I can feel it. It's sort of like opened up something. I'm serious. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's like I feel it. Oh,
coming from the divine.
Yeah, I feel it. I have tingles right now. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, I'm good. I'm so glad we did that. I loved it. I totally loved it. So,
yeah, I didn't mind it too.
Yeah. Oh, you yeah, and I kept mine on my little thing.
Oh yeah, look, yours is.
So there it is. Mine's really precise and just kind of straight.
Yeah, mine is more like the artistic versions here.
Savannah, did you get this? Did you feel it? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I felt it.
It's uplifting. I feel it's uplifting.
Whew. Oh, this stuff is so amazing. Okay. All right. It's already 12:20. So there's still a little bit more that Artie wants to share with us, and then we're going to close it up. So however you want to finish it up. But yeah, that was powerful. And honestly, I used that quite a bit 20 years ago. I would constantly, whenever I needed a boost or a focus, I would draw that in my mind a lot. So good. Kai felt the symbol too. Awesome. I'm so glad. Yeah, I felt it.
Hi. That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's actually, especially for yoga teacher, I'm thinking of Kai because she took the yoga teacher training course. I don't know, like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been some years back. So that was Tara and I did that teacher training course, and Kai was a part of it. A very talented lady, and I think it really is for yoga teachers. It's a nice tool because what I've been enjoying doing, offering, and what I've been enjoying receiving is that in shavasana, going around, doing a little, a little shoulder, neck, something. You all know, or what I'm talking about. That's often done, and I think that's for me in the early years of me teaching, because I've been doing this, 20 plus years. Then people would come up to me and always ask, like, "Oh, do you do massage therapy? It felt so good," and I was always like, "No, I don't." And I shared that with Tah before, that for me, I could really never feel confident doing all this massage work because yes, it's a lot of work, and I don't know if I'm strong enough. Intuitively, I know exactly how that works, and I've done courses. Actually, I know some massage, but what I've always noticed is that I don't seem to be able to get out of a person's energy, and so obviously with these symbols, the chokore and these hon sa se sho ni, we learn how to get into the field of energy, and now it's doing that again. And for me, that's a no-brainer. I can just do that, and it's, I think, the way I'm brought into the world. Like a thin, hypersensitive being, or thin-skinned in Ayurveda. They see that that's actually part of it. If the nerves are, closer to the surface, like we pick up emotions, and we pick up when if somebody is afraid, or we pick it up. For me, it was always an important thing to learn how to get out of someone's energy. And that was part of why I never really wanted to take on so much being in somebody's field. Now I studied Ayurvedic cranial therapy, and I do the Reiki, and I can just walk right into an energy field of a person, the unified field of love and healing, or creating that and tapping into that, like unlocking that, being there, having it flow through me, and not only flow through me, but offer it. And then it's a connection. So the light goes into that field. And then let's say, like, okay, thank you, that was very nice, blah, 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 and you part, it would just stay on and on and on. And it did not serve me. And with Reiki really helped me to be able, otherwise I wouldn't have studied that cranial sacral, that it would have been just too much on people, in people's energy fields. And so what I learned, because we got the chokore, how to get in, and you know your hand placements. And then before I go through the self healing one again, I want to show you real quick how I learned to get out. And what's interesting is that Tah just read that we can either just go clapping. That's for me absolutely invasive. And, when I do Reiki or receive it, I don't want to be startled. So I guess it could be done gently, but that's not what I practice. What I practice is just like a lifting of both hands. And I do use my pointer fingers. And it's just like it's like the lightning bolt, like a double, or like a lightning bolt. And that is just like, and that's it, and it's so be it, and it is done, and we are kind of cutting out.
Nice.
And I'm kind of back in my own field, and that has really brought it home for me. It has an opening, and so like I unlock, but it's like we don't lock it the same way. It's just, that's how we get out. Nice. And then it's also basically keeping that loving, healing energy also within ourselves, because we can't run around having this, being overly connected to everyone and everything doesn't really work, because I learned that the hard way. I would always be pulled in every direction, be very emotional, and pick up all kinds of sensitivities without really having that serve me too well at times. So that was important for me to share. So just like that.
All right.
And sometimes it looks like, what people do, they do like in quotes. I don't speak like that, but I think, that reminds me of it. So you can like you were reading before, you will end up customizing a little bit of how you actually do it. And there is no, oh my God, you didn't do that right, you did that wrong. It's you will receive the teachings through yourself. And I think this is where this is really leading from. And then I want to go through just explaining, I don't think we honored the actual Reiki, where it came from is Japan, because it looks like,
Yeah,
it sounds like it.
the
But
history.
yeah, it's only like 150-year old. It's not too long ago. There was someone who did a lot of meditation and research, and was so excited and felt like enlightened about it, and wanted to rush back to tell the master, and kind of running down the hill, and on the way down fell on his knee and really hurt, and then sat and paused, and that all that enlightenment he felt before was going to his hands, and he was healing his own knee. And then he was actually more moved by that than telling about his enlightenment, because it was so physical. It was so much evidence also. So he went down to the village, and there was a school founded actually only like 100 years ago, where first of all, I think only the doctors and nurses learned that, and then it was also available for just anyone. And then if it spread from there, and it's like you see people offering this. This is not kept very secret. It's very available. I just wanted to go back, and I'm sorry that I don't know the name of
I know. I
of
was
the gentleman.
looking. How funny! I was looking for the name. Maybe Savannah. Do you remember from our? Anyhow, we'll find it.
Yeah, so it was very freely gifted to us to use, and therefore don't worry if you feel like, oh, in the beginning, yes, you do want to make sure like the spiral, but if you're sitting there going like, oh my God, I did it backwards, is that like a backwards effect? Don't overthink it. If that's what happened, it's fine. It's like a thing you'll feel, just like asanas. You can, after so and so long looking at certain pictures, you just at some point you embody it. You know how when that pose is right, and so
Absolutely.
it's like that. So I wanted to give you the opportunity. You may have to move or something, move around, or not. Maybe if you have your phone in your hand, you can freely move around. I guess we're all at home. Um, and if there is some more sacred area in your room than other, then move yourself there. Maybe you're already there. And if not, then don't worry about it. It is not necessary. But what is necessary that we do a little meditation, and just practice. And we'll do that together. Just one more time. Going through all this, what we learned so far. So before, and that's actually something I also I learned, before we do any of the chokery and rubbing the hands, we close our eyes and find our own breath and completely go home to the heart and ourselves. Because you may sit there thinking you're there's all these people who need the healing. Yes, they do. But first of all, we start with ourselves. Just take a slow breath in and try to empty oneself from worry and fear. And you can swallow. Swallowing is a great thing, because, or yarn. Yeah, like a fake yarn sometimes brings on a real yarn. Like a,
And
I feel like,
want to invite maybe to lay down. It would be okay to lay
oh
down.
yeah,
Yes.
okay,
So if you've been sitting
yes,
for a while and you would like to experience the hand
thank
placements
you.
laying down, this would be the opportunity to do that. Artie's going to walk you through as we do this all together, it is powerful. So our Reiki is going into you, your Reiki is coming into us, and we're creating this sacred energy circle by just being in tune with each other here. So even if you are on the replay, you will feel the power of this practice. So I do highly recommend going to lay down and take it all in.
And then as you take a deeper breath and close your eyes and just kind of empty yourself from whatever is going through as good as you can. and doing like a little yarn to unlock the ears. You hear a little bit of a clicking, jaw, and opening up those places. Take a deep breath into the nose, out the mouth. Doing that a couple times. Just kind of arrive in that place for self-soothing, for self-healing. And then when you are ready, you can lift your hands up and bring the hands together and rub the hands, create a little friction, creating a little heat, creating an aura. Very, very good. And then with your mind, allow your mind to watch that light come in through the crown of the head. So you're watching and inviting that beaming, golden, radiant, beautiful light to go into the crown chakra, your crown, the very top of the head. Let it enter there, and let it flood through the head, and keep following it, how it moves through the face, the head to the neck, your throat, downwards, flooding or over the shoulders, chest, upper back, into the heart. And so this is where it really comes from. It's not coming from the crown, but it's you flood it to the heart. And it already, for me, it always feels like a warm wave, and the warmth is not necessarily temperature, but it's like a like warmth of love, really. And that's where you take it from, or you allow it to come through the heart, moving into your arms now. So feeling it from the heart, you can watch it or feel it or both, because we do things a little different internally. You can watch it or just feel it. Go into the arms, flooding the arms, from the shoulder into the elbow, forearm, wrist, into the hands. And yes, they're ready. You rub them and you can lift them. You can do that with open eyes in the beginning. It may help. Do the chokure. Go across, go down, spiral up, spiral, 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 center. Do your other hand. Go across, go down, go up, spiral, spiral, spiral. How hard, how little you do that, you'll know. You trust yourself. So now it's connected. Now you unlocked it, so it's available to come out. And then you gently move your hands, and you can have your hands actually one next to the other, right by the parting of the hair. It sometimes feels good to go opposite way, so elbows out, having the fingers point away. And also that you will know, I oftentimes really have one hand on top of the other. It's really feeling that energy. It can be some pressure. So absorb through the hands, through your own heart, into the crown of your head, keeping everything relaxed. Even the arms are relaxed. And this is personal, but for me, it helps to repeat a mantra, because I have a mantra and I repeat mantras, not only one, but I have several. One for this very personal self-healing Reiki, self-anointing practice, I use the Gayatri mantra. Or something, something for the mind. You don't have to. I just believe it goes well together. And just think om, om, om. And then bringing the elbows out, bringing the hands together. So I think it's a bit like a triangle looking. And then, index finger, thumb touching, placing the back of the head in your open palms. And then, we're all built a little different. It may feel better if you bring one hand inside the other hand. Don't worry which one. You'll know. It's a very intuitive healing. So, and intuition is the place where I know. So you can think om, you can repeat I love to just to myself repeat the Gayatri mantra, Om Bhurva Swaha Tat Savitu Varenyam Bhago devasya dhimahi dhiyo yo na prachodayat. Sliding the hands out from under, and you can either super lightly cup the eye sockets, forehead, temples, or really press. You will know. Different days, different pressure. You can even see with behind the eyelids, you see the light dance. See that light dance through the eyelids, from your palms, from your own palms, that Reiki energy flowing right through. You don't want to rush. So, for example, this whole thing could be like 15 minutes. There's days where you want to do this in 5 minutes, but you never really want to rush it. If I do I don't have much time, then I do like a one Gayatri mantra per movement. Wonderful. Sliding the hands down to the throat, which we know that's also ears. So you can have, sometimes it's good to have a little finger even towards the ear, so you'll feel it, For the yoginis and yogis, if you'd like to do more healing with yourself and you are familiar with the chakras and their colors, of course you can think of blue, your favorite blue. Feeling that warmth. This is also great for immunity for right now. We do really want to do this. Just feeling the energy, and you can move the hands down to the heart. I like to have one hand top the other. Maybe it's better next to each other. Which one is on top is, feel that one. Feel if it's the right place. Some metaphysical hearts are, a little lower, a little higher. It's not exactly where the physical heart is. This is extra sweet. This is really showing up to heal the heart, flooding the heart with its light of love. Like your breath evens. Remember your breath. Make it a little more even so that in and exhalation are the same. Going a little lower, that power center or the center of willpower. I like to have one hand on top of the other, really feel a lot of energy just having my hands there. If you feel like you're relaxing a bit too much as you lay there, just find your breath and go back to imagine and see and feel that light entering through the head into the heart, moving through the arms onto your hands, back into your own power center, charging, recharging and charging up. Also protecting. Yes, that really helps too. Protecting energy. If you know you have to, go somewhere like a huge conference somewhere, all kinds of energies you rather don't want to mix, do this, go through this, do this hours before, hours after. It will help integrate. Then move your hands a little lower. And I'm going to, I don't know, come up here just in case you're peeking. I'm bringing thumb and index finger together. My index finger are pointing down. My thumbs are pretty much where the navel is, my belly button. So with my fingertips, I'm arriving in that pubic area. My Shakti, most Shakti waters of creation, feminine energy, force of creation. So especially if you are a woman, charge it up. And yes, it will also help with the physical phenomena. It will also help with, around baby and conception and or menstrual issues. And if not only that, but also for creativity in its broadest sense. Charge it up, allowing that light to move through you and enter you. It's on the circuit. Feeling how your breath is really moving the belly. Very good. Moving on to the root chakra. So the root chakra, they say, is also like half of the chakra is, your lowest part of your body, like the perineum area. But half the root chakra is outside of it. So you can either, hover or bring the hands between the legs, or, where they reach, because proportionate, you'll feel it. Let them just fall there where you feel that's your root for now. You may have to experiment also. So that's it for me. It's definitely one hand on top of the other, really like almost like a sealing it. For me, groundedness is very important. So I'm right there. Very good. Take a deep breath, and then you can also practice leaving your own energy field, because you're leaving that energy, you're moving out of it, so you can, do those little double lightning bolts. I also don't do the back because you're lying down. I, believe that doing the whole front is good and good enough, so I purposefully didn't do that. So here is something while you're still lying down. I hope you are. Is you thank yourself. You can do that quietly inwards. Thank yourself to receive this. And for this to really work, you've got homework. For this to really be activated, so that you can go out there and also be powerful in offering Reiki healing and giving it to, all the people, the earth and the animals, all sentient beings, you have homework to promise yourself, to your best abilities, to practice this for the next 40 days and nights. So that's a magic number for creating new habits, getting rid of old habits. So you want it or not, you can do it fast, you can do it slow, you can do it morning, whenever or night, whenever you like. It's very nice also when you go to bed, before you go to bed, or after you awake. It's beautiful, beautiful, and you will blossom doing this. So now you can stretch yourself out and come back up to a seated posture. But what you do when you're sitting again, really look at your hands and, be aware of that gift we're allowed to hold and pass on. And you can maybe still see that my hands actually have definitely changed, and also the way I talk, and they get very empowered. So you can look there. Self-initiation has been around for thousands of years. There's even saints who never had to go see a guru or teacher, who just have self-initiated. And so I want to give you that opportunity to understand that that's perfectly fine, that you can do that. You can right now self-initiate you into this form of healing. So it's sacred, and you really seal it with the practice of 40 days and 40 nights. So maybe if you miss one, don't worry, that's going to be fine, but don't miss more.
I love it. She's challenging you. This is the challenge. June 4th is when the 40th
okay,
day.
Great. So thanks for looking that up.
Yeah.
And this is the right time. And you can really already play with, putting your hands on the ground for earth, for Bhumi Shakti, it's called, for like earth healing. Of course, you can already play around, but you seal it in. You're going to get to own this in a beautiful, beautiful way. And that's what I wanted to share, is that self-initiation is something. For example, I know of one saint, she's very famous for doing that, is Indian yogini, Sri Anandamayi Ma. She is that, wide-eyed yogini, like she had like long hair hanging. She would, as a 3-year-old, run away into the forest and sit in delight under some trees, and the parents were worried until she was like 10 years old, what's wrong with her, because she did it almost every day in complete self-absorbed and not self-absorbed, but absorbed into deep self, which is God. She would sit and tell everyone. When she grew older, she self-initiated, because at her time, male gurus or teachers didn't want to accept a girl or a woman. So, and I think that's so good to hear, that somebody, before it was even allowed and legal or heard of, she gave us that gift of self-initiation. So,
Love
because we
that.
have because this modern yogis and yoginis, good luck with finding a guru who initiates you. I was lucky. I did find gurus, and I got initiated and got like a spiritual name and a mantra and all that. That's beautiful when that happens. But if that doesn't happen, initiate yourself and be precious with that gift. It's a precious gift, and treat yourself in that precious way too. And I don't know if there's more to say for that. You can do that on your yoga mat. You can do that in bed. There's nothing wrong. And, like, just make it like give it a rhythm. Like, I do it like every morning, almost every morning.
How did you know? Did you see that? Did you see the comment that just came up? What would a morning Reiki session look like? And you just said, I do it every morning. What would a morning?
I do it every morning.
Session.
So what you were just doing is that, you wake up, and instead of jumping into that wakeful state of, oh my God, I have to do this and that, and and then, all the wonderful things and all the scary things, and then we are already we fell right into this role playing thing. So as a healer, or somebody to be healed and also healing, of course you go to the bathroom, whatever you have to do, go back, lie down, and then do what I was just guiding you. You start with the breath. You slow down your breathing and stop the mind from going to all these things you want to do all day, and just breathe in, breathe out. Imagine the light coming into the crown. Imagine the light, and pull it into your heart. From your heart, let it go into your arms, into your hands. You can do the rubbing. You can pick your favorite symbol, which is for me the chakra. You unlock these energies, and then start with the crown, behind the head, cup your eyes, and then the throat, and your heart could also be here. Willpower, Shakti, root.
Yep.
So I added a few things like, okay, how long is it going to take? However long you're going to make it. But I suggest that in the beginning, you give yourself like 10 minutes at least. Yeah.
So new habit are formed in 40 days. So it might be something that you want to keep in your morning ritual, to give yourself a 10-minute Reiki session every morning before you get out of bed. That's a great idea.
It's a great idea. And it's like, I am not somebody who is like forever sleepy and just lays around forever. I'm actually somebody, I'm like, okay, I'm up. And then before I know it, I'm already, doing something. And then this is really, for me, instead of going into the doing and action, that's before I meditate. And then I do my pranayama and I do my meditation. And, I'm like, I have like a real many step kind of program in the morning, because it sets your whole day. But then if your mornings are not like that, you can do that before you go to bed. You're already lying down in bed, and then do that.
Yeah, finding what works for you. Finding what works for you.
Or do it like in Shavasana. If you have a yoga practice at home, you can, do that in Shavasana. Is very nice too, because you're really feeling the light, because you just did asana, so you have light flowing really easily.
Lovely.
Or when you are, it's also good to do it when you have pain. Let's say I brought up menstrual cramps, for example, because those are such a like reoccurring pains for some people or some women. Or if you have headache, you just of course you stay there longer in these places where you feel like there's an imbalance, and it really is powerful. Yeah.
My weak spot is my throat, and when I get a sore throat, immediately I put my hands on my throat, to help my sore throat go away. It works, absolutely.
It does. It does. I really help me with headaches because I've never really had headaches. And like the last couple years, I started to have headaches come and go, and now they're just not lingering. I get rid of them.
Yeah, we do. We
Yeah,
are healing ourselves with our energy focus.
it's really,
Right.
really healing.
Yep.
Yeah. And so it's an experimental thing, and it's not so much about the form, but it's good to have a form because it's such a free flowing light. How can you do it? But it's like you can think of it as a river, and a river is coming from somewhere and it flows somewhere. There is a flow to it, and oftentimes we need to kind of move it a little bit to make it work more efficient. Or people even built a dam and use that extra energy. You can light up many villages. So that's the idea.
That's
That you
good.
kind of govern the flow. So that's all we really do because it's already there, the energy. We
Yeah.
don't have to
No,
make it.
we don't have to do much. We just initiate and energize our palms. Yes. Is there any last questions? Any last questions with our peeps that we have live? I'm more than happy. We're more than happy to answer any questions. Just want to make sure we open that up. And if not,
You have homework. And let's say you did for 2 days, your 40 days are, make them longer. It's past June 4th, but, make it a point to really do it. You can do it.
Yep.
I could do it. I did it. And that was really like, ooh, you step into it. You're empowered.
Yep.
It's more than a diploma, really, for sure. Trust me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What an achievement. That's a good one. How would you like to close up? 3 ohms?
Yeah, 3 ohms are good. And, just may people be blessed and use this in a positive and blessing form only. Oh, here's some super, super, super important one.
Oh, what is
Very
it?
important. Very, very important. Very, very
I'm
important.
glad you remembered. Whatever it is.
Oftentimes we think like, oh my God, my mom, she's all that. I want to send her some distant Reiki healing energy. This is important. Please ask the person. It has to be okay. They have to say, yes, you can do that. So don't just randomly go around Reiki everything. Ask if it's a person. You can even ask, I asked the horse, you kind of have a feeling the horse is going, okay. But, when we deal with human beings, which mostly we do, ask permission, okay?
Yeah.
Ask permission.
That's
so that's
interesting. That is good.
That is my final line.
I know. I don't necessarily ask Jaden when I'm giving him, like, when I'm over here in the night and maybe he was sick or something. I just kind of do it. But I assume that because I'm a mom, I have that intuitive connection.
He gave you his permission. I mean, he gave you the permission before. So, you can do that.
Okay, good. Yes. I like that. All right. This is wonderful. And our timing is amazing. We said an hour and a half and now we are right there. This is it.
Okay.
It's 12:54.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Okay, so we'll just sit up and hold this, look at your hands, and just hold this like a precious gift and a precious jewel. You can, rub it again or not, but hold it, just be aware of it. And it will really change you over the next 40 days, not just in that you learn a new tool, but in many ways, like the way you use your hands, being aware of a power we have gives us really like spark more of encouragement into our own divine self, into our own divinity. And we can almost out. Om is the vibration of the whole universe. And if you give Reiki to others and you feel like you don't want to think about laundry, think Om. But don't worry if it's laundry coming up. And then we can inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste.
Namaste. Oh, thank you so much. That was fun. So the recording will be here for those of you who made it to the end. Oh, thank you for being here with us. I celebrate you. I feel you, and I am empowered by you and our journey together. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tah.
All
Thank
right.
you, everybody out there.
Thank you, Arti, so much for doing this with me.
You're welcome.
All right. See you next time. Bye.